Hi, Apala. Good morning and welcome to this discussion where we will talk about your experience with Dell Analytics in the business intelligence and analytics position as to what kind of interview experience you had. And also, we will also talk about, how you switched your career from finance industry altogether, very unrelevant industry to data science and analytics to analytics and data science. So, Apala, thank you for accepting our invitation first. Thank you, Apala.
Thank you, sir. This is really an honor for me to come back here and talk because I've really had a very nice time with both you and ma'am studying in IB. So thank you so
Apala.
much for having
Appreciate your words. So, Apala, what I understand, just so everybody understands your profile, right now you're working with Dell in the business intelligence team as part of their service pricing, specifically in the service pricing analytics. And you've been working with Dell for 4 years now?
It will be 4 years in January. Yeah.
Right. So why don't I hear from you only that how has been your journey? I know you worked with PwC as well, then you took a year gap or something, and then you did the program as well, then you switched your profile. So I just want to understand from you about your professional journey.
Sure. So after completing my master's in ECO from CU, I got placed in PwC SDC, Calcutta, through campus placements. I worked there in the account management team for 1 year, and it was a great experience. But I always had a very keen interest in the pricing world. Like even while doing ECO, my favorite subject was microeconomics. So I really wanted to work in the pricing analytics industry, and like in my list of my companies that I wanted to work for, Dell was always number one because I knew it does pricing analytics. And I had a couple of friends from CU who are working in Dell as well at the time.
So you were in your first, you were young and you knew that, Dell actually was great in pricing, and then you were targeting right from.
Yes. Pricing analytics was something which I always found very interesting, like the different types of markets and all of that.
Okay, very focused. Must be.
So I decided to take a leap of faith, and I took a year off, and that's when I enrolled in IB. I worked from 2017 to 2018 in PwC, and then January 2019 I started my course in IB. And once my course, I started with advanced Excel, then SQL, then R, Tableau, followed by all those guess estimates, CV making, all those classes. And in the meantime, I was applying. And then I got my Dell interview, and I joined in January 2020. So I do have a year break, but I have utilized it, I feel.
But you utilized it in the program.
Yes.
It was a big leap of faith to leave PwC, then do the program, dedicate all your time into it. You didn't feel scared, what if a lot of what ifs people get in their mind, right?
I did feel scared, but I used to talk to ma'am frequently, and she used to motivate me a lot. And I have also done every single assignment that is there in IB. Like I've never missed an assignment, and I think that helped me a lot in my interviews. The Excel and the SQL assignments and the guest estimates, all of that. The CV making classes, they have helped me a lot.
Very good. One very, very important thing that we keep telling our learners that, the program is structured in such a way that there are a lot of milestones to achieve every week, right? And those milestones, those quizzes, those case studies, those projects, those assignments, those are the fundamental pillars. They help you to build your project portfolio and also help you to build that confidence. So we have seen a very strong correlation between people who have been very successful and the assignment completion rate and the project completion rate. Very good. So Apala, wanted to understand, you of course did our data analytics plus visualization program, a data science plus visualization program, but in your interview experiences, specifically with Dell, because I think that was the only interview that you appeared. That was the first. That was the only Dell analytics company that you worked with, you've been still working with them for last so many years. So tell me about your interview experiences. How many rounds you had? What kind of questions were asked, and what kind of help did you get from the program? The kind of things that you did, assignments, projects, and the learning that you had in the program.
Sure. So my Dell interviews consisted of 3 rounds. The first round was the technical round where they asked me questions on Excel and SQL. So the type of questions that they ask involve both the basic as well as advanced level.
Okay.
But one thing which I like to point out is they are more concerned about whether the basics are very strong or not. And that's where Ivy helped me a lot because they start from basics and they move on to advanced. So I remember that they asked me like statements as well as the case when and all those complicated except functions and all those complicated things that we have in Excel, in SQL, and the date functions, and these are the the pivot, the different charts that you can make in Excel. All these were covered in my class as well as they were picked up in the interview.
Okay.
And so whether you are, if there's something that a question that is hard and you don't know it, I will suggest that don't give up on it. At least little bit also, if you are able to answer and if your basics are very clear, then it is appreciated. It is very difficult to say whether it will be a yes or no, but it will be appreciated by everyone.
Okay.
So the basics are very, very important. And
so the message that you're giving is, definitely make sure, especially if you are a young person, and especially when you're switching from one profile to another, you switch from finance to analytics, right? So your message is foundation, the basic concepts are very, very important because interviews always start from the fundamental concepts.
Yes. And especially when you're switching from a completely different industry, maybe you will get in as an analyst. Like I got in as an analyst. So they will focus, they will try to see how strong your basics are. Okay. So, I mean, there's no point of, marking up very difficult syntax without knowing what is the reason behind using them. Even in a day-to-day activity, when I use SQL every day, there also I see that it's the basic things that come handy. So it's very important.
So in the first round, you had technical, the questions were mostly from SQL. Do you remember any top 3-4 questions that you were asked in SQL?
It was long time back, but on the top of my head, I think that like function, date functions
date
that we have. Then a lot of the questions were actually for case when function.
Oh, case and when. Okay.
Yeah, and I think between functions and yes.
These are all foundation concepts, but of course we use them more frequently than.
Yes. Even like now when I use Excel for data extraction, we have to use Excel. We are not really using very complicated functions. These are the ones that we use on a daily basis. Anyway, so replace function, then the how to convert a column name into from one thing to another.
Okay.
Number of rows, all of that.
Let me ask you one more question. So that was your first round. Second round was what? You mentioned you had 3 rounds.
Yeah. So second round was more like a business round and guess estimate round. Actually.
Okay. Business and guesstimates.
Yes. So they looked at my CV and PwC was mentioned. So they asked me about my previous job and they asked me a little bit about.
But that was not relevant to what you would, what you would be doing in the program. So I mean,
correct. They just wanted to know, like, from my background, from where I'm coming from, and then they asked me a little bit about what I know about Dell and this whole market of laptop and desktops, which I didn't know that much at that time, obviously. Then they gave me a case.
That's a very important thing, we keep telling our learners keep telling our students also that when you're preparing and targeting a company, you must understand how does that company make money? What are the different business model, and especially in which role are you being hired? How does your role impact either the business or either increasing the revenue or decreasing the cost. If you understand that, that's almost always the question that is asked in the interview.
Correct. And what I did is before that round, I put a lot of focus in the guesstimates classes that you took. And
the analytical problem solving class.
Yes, the number of crores in Manhattan, that kind of a question. And the questions are also like that, like how many coins in a room, then how many private cars in Bangalore. These are the questions that I got asked. So I put a lot of focus in those questions.
Surprisingly, a lot of people do not want to attend those classes because those are non-technical, no Python, no machine learning, no SQL, no deep learning is there, so a lot of people end up skipping those classes, the analytical problem solving. And I actually take them personally, and I believe that, in 50% of the 60% of the companies, the good companies will definitely have one round on business cases. And
absolutely. Yes. They will, for sure. They'll have that. And the other thing is, I also just had a look through about Dell and the competitors that are there, and who are the major market shareholders, and little bit information about. It's not like they will expect me to know everything, but just because I am interested in interviewing for them, so just a little bit of
you want to show your interest towards the company.
Yes. And then they gave me some small case studies about their Dell. They wanted to understand how I'm thinking. And that's it. It was a 1 hour interview, and the main focus was on the guesstimates.
On the guesstimates.
Yes.
Then finally you had like an HR round, or what was the final round?
No, the final round is the round with the managers and the senior managers. It's very similar to the second round actually. There also I was asked guess estimates and a little bit of question about my.
Why they ask guess estimates? Because that way, they can understand your basic number crunching abilities, your basic awareness about how data can be used, your estimation skills. So a lot of things can be understood by just a couple of quick questions.
Right.
Your thinking process, are you structured, are you analytical, or are you random, intuition based? So those that's the reason why guesstimates are so commonly asked. Great. So overall, so you had a good experience in the interviews, and what I believe also is that all these rounds that you had, all of them are actually covered in the program that you did with Ivy Pro School.
Yes.
Right. But specifically, what portions helped you in preparing or in defending the interview?
From Excel, it was the classes based on the charts and the pivots, and the conditional formatting, the if function, the sum if functions, they helped me a lot. And from SQL, actually the SQL entire program is starting from basic to a little bit advanced is actually necessary. You need to complete and do all the assignments. Otherwise, cracking the interview will be difficult. And I did all of them. I used to study SQL a lot, and that's why it helped me a lot. And
I remember you as a learner who was always prompt and almost always on time with the assignments.
Yes.
So if I were to ask you that, what are some of the tips that you would give to the learners, anybody, especially to working professionals, who are trying to switch from one profile to another, and who are trying to do this program or who are doing this program with us with Ivy Pro School, what kind of tips would you give to them?
I would suggest that even though it becomes difficult with your job, please do not miss any class. Try to attend live classes, because then you get to ask the questions then and there. And also after the
class, a very important point you mentioned. We keep encouraging. So although we do give recording of every class, but we keep encouraging that recordings are always boring. Recordings are to maybe revise some key concepts later, but they're not the substitute for the live classes. So we
correct.
All right, please.
And then also one thing is, when a topic is being covered, do not keep the assignment to do later after 3 months. That doesn't help. You have to do it immediately. and then maybe after a month or so you can revise through that assignment. The important thing is to keep revising the syntaxes and going through the assignments again and again, so that you are confident when you are asked about it in an interview. We tend to get nervous, but if you have practiced it many number of times, then you will feel confident. So that is very, very important.
Very important. Any other tip, in terms of, so you mentioned that, be regular with the live classes, attend the live classes, be regular with the assignments, do them within the due date. Do not procrastinate. Any other tip would you want to give to the learners?
Just that if you have any questions, please address them. Do not keep them for later, because I used to ask a lot of questions. I have bugged you a lot. I remember in the classes.
We like such learners quite a bit.
Yeah, and I used to ping ma'am also a lot. Whether it was about the Excel or the Tableau or about my CV. Like the CV has to be very important, and I built my CV after attending a CV building class.
Okay.
And that was also.
So you utilize the program completely. You attended CV building classes also. You did the assignments as well, the projects, and as well as you attended the analytical problem solving classes as well. Where we have 60% attendance normally. So you did the whole hall.
Yes. And after the CV, I remember in the CV building class, you have also covered the LinkedIn, how to build a LinkedIn profile, and how to build profiles in Naukri.com and the other places. So I followed that, and I am not sure from where I got the call from Dell. But I think it was from Naukri, because my CV was exact the replication of my Naukri platform. So it helped. Like, people generally say it's useless, we don't get, but actually it's not true at all. You do get calls from there.
It's about creating a funnel. We always say that searching for a job is like sales. If you ask any successful sales manager, he would say that I want to increase my funnel. That means I want more and more sales leads, and I want multiple channels, because not sure which channel works at what time and what kind of customers. So I always believe that these are low hanging fruits. It doesn't cost you anything to create a profile on some of these job portal sites, and it doesn't cost you anything to have a very nice, very relevant profile on LinkedIn. Doesn't cost you anything to keep talking about what you're learning in the program as well on your LinkedIn. Make your profile viral. Doesn't cost you anything to host your projects and cases on GitHub. These are all free, right? Nobody's charging you anything. It takes very, very, very low amount of time, almost one effort and a little bit of effort to keep updating them. But the results can be immense.
Absolutely. I firmly believe in that now. So that's my one more tip, that you should attend all the classes. Everything is relevant. Nothing goes to waste.
No, very good. Because as it is, the program is a condensed crash course kind of a program. We are covering so many things in less than 7 or 8 months or so. So if so many things are to be covered in such a short time duration, then every class is an important class, right? People, it's not like a university exam where some topics are optional and some topics are mandatory. Here we say that, hey, every topic is mandatory. In the computer engineering classes, I remember I had SQL for 3 semesters, but here we cover SQL in less than 30 hours. So if you're able to do that, that means every moment, every class, every hour, every topic is important. Very good, Apala. Any other tip that you would want to give to people who are searching for jobs in today's time?
So if it is obviously if it is an on-campus hiring that is going on, it's a little bit, I would say 2% easier, because
2%
the companies are coming and you are applying. If it is off campus, it's truly difficult, because you have to make a list of the companies that you want, and also a list of the companies maybe which are not your dream companies, but they're good, and you will, and you have to keep on applying, and you should never give up, because when you apply and when you get a call, that time is very stressful and it may take a lot of time. But you should keep on applying and keep everything updated. LinkedIn, Naukri, your CV. So when you
So,
do
I always recommend this to our people, of course, I'm sure if you attended my CV and interview preparation classes, then you must have seen that I talk about a very structured process when it comes to applying to companies as well, when you're looking for jobs as well, when, the entire whole log process is a very structured process. You follow the structure, and believe me, I have had 100% confidence. I'm 100% confident that people will get results. Results in the sense you will get definite interview calls.
Correct.
In the interview, how well you're prepared with the content, how well you're prepared with your projects, that is going to be very, very important, right?
That's true.
Those are the things which are in your control. So I always recommend people that do not be worried about things which are not in your control. For example, how's the industry doing? How's the company doing? How's the market doing? Are there less openings, more openings? I always say, data and AI, is the bread and butter for all the companies in the next decade or so. So there'll always be a lot of opportunities. You just have to believe in that, and then you have to be prepared about things which you can control.
That's true.
All right. Apala, one last question, So I know you are one of those learners who utilize Ivy Pro School's complete services that we give. But if I were to help you, if I were to ask you to describe your experience with us, so, and if the contribution that we could make to the profile switch from finance to analytics, so how would you describe it?
It was the profile switch was a little stressful, but I got a lot of help from Ivy, and the program was actually very, it was life changing for me because it helped me get a job in my dream company, and a company where I'm working for almost 4 years, and I want to continue working there. So it was a very good decision that I took. I have a lot of friends who did their courses from Ivy, and it was really a very good experience.
All right, Apala. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for all your tips. And Apala, all the best with your dream company, Dell, and keep in touch. And it takes a lot of effort and sincere discipline and a lot of sacrifices for a young person, not to watch the content on Netflix, and a lot of distractions are there, right? So, very, very people can actually focus their energy and their efforts into their goal and their dreams. You had your dream to work towards it, and you got the result. Thanks a lot, Apala, for all your tips, and all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Bye.